Good morning everybody and welcome back to another War Thunder video. I have been grinding like mad for the past 2 days. Well, not literally the past 2 days, it hasn't taken me 24 hours, but over the past 2 days I've been playing a lot of War Thunder and I've been playing a lot of the French at 6.0, 6.3 and 6.7, and I have ground my way finally to the AMX-30, the 1972 model. This is a rank 5, well, the only rank 5 medium that the French have. Battle rating 7.7, French main battle tank. And I love it. I haven't had it very long. This was only the second or third game I think I played in it. And it's one of the best games I've had in it so far. I did have a really good game yesterday as well, which will be coming up on the channel hopefully on Monday. As you know, I normally don't upload videos on the weekends. Speaking of my upload schedule, I am working Tuesday, Wednesday and Thursday next week, which means my upload schedule may have to be reshuffled around slightly. Not that I really have a schedule, I just upload whenever I have content. So hopefully that won't be too much of an issue for you. I'll try and upload in if and when I can, obviously, but work is work, it's something to put on my CV and it's money in my pocket, so I'm definitely going to do it. So a little bit of background information on the AMX-30. I should stress, by the way, this is by no means a review. This will probably be the first French tank I do a review video on, but I want to play it a little bit more and get to know it a little bit better first. It has a 105mm gun, as to be expected. It can do 23 kilometers per hour in reverse, right? And it actually accelerates faster in reverse, but we'll get onto that in a minute because that's to do with the engine, and it's not so much its horsepower but more its torque. So 23 kilometers per hour in reverse. The front of the hull has 79mm of armor. This is going on the stat sheet, by the way, and 80mm of armor on the front of the turret. And this tank only gets 3 shells. Heat, not Heat FS, but we'll get onto that in a minute. Heat, HE, and a smoke shell, which you have to unlock. The Heat and the HE you get from the get-go, so you get the best shell for this tank straight away. The tanks, it kind of lacks that get up and go. You'll see when I'm trying to drive up this hill right now, the tank weighs 36 tons and has a 619 horsepower engine, which is good, it's not terrible, but the problem is that the engine lacks a lot of torque at the low gears, especially when you're on an incline, so you don't accelerate too quickly. This can cause issues, I've noticed, but it hasn't really got me killed yet. Yet being the key word. The armour on the front of the turret is kind of misleading because the shape of the front of the turret, which you may see in this video, at a certain angle is almost entirely flat if somebody's trying to shoot at the top of your turret, which is basically an automatic bounce zone. I think I take a hit or two from a leopard in this game and bounce, and in another match, when I was on this map, I was in a standoff with an Object 120 who was higher up than me on a hill, and I was sort of facing up the hill. There's a bounce. Facing up the hill, shooting at him with my machine gun because my gun had been taken out, and he was just he bounced 2 shots off of the top of my turret. Now, this is not the sort of armor you can rely on. Hell, I've bounced things in my Leopard before. It doesn't mean you can rely on the armor, but the layout of the armor does make bounces more likely, in my opinion. If you're wondering why those things, like the grass and the tank's details are rendering in randomly, that's not due to my PS4, that is actually due to the map. Maginot Line and 38th Parallel map aren't particularly well optimised for me, unfortunately, but it's something I can live with, it's not an issue. Okay, so the heat shell. Now, I'm going to link 2 videos that I've already done in the video description. They've actually been 2 of the best well-received videos I've ever done, with views in the 300-400s range. So thank you very much for that. But for those of you who are new, I did 2 videos, basically discussing what the AMX-30 may be like in the game, and a video discussing the AMX-30 on the dev server, which was information that I got from Tiger Frost. If you haven't heard of him, you should check out his channel. He's really good. Anyway, in these videos I explain a little bit more about the similarities between, or at least on paper, between the AMX-30 and the Leopard 1, because it is basically just the French Leopard. Alright? So the AMX-30 fires a heat round, but because it's a smoothbore gun, the gun is not rifled, which means in order to increase the velocity and the accuracy of the shell should be fin stabilized, which is what we're used to at this sort of tier, Heat FS. But this is not Heat FS. The French decided that they were going to be different from everybody else, and so their heat shell was basically the shell casing, with the shell inside the casing, obviously, but between the shell and the casing was a wall of ball bearings, and as the shell left the casing and went down the barrel, the ball bearings would cause it to spin, which not only increased the velocity but also increased the accuracy. So this is how the French got around the problem. As I said, I will link those two videos in the description for you to have a look at. You know, you might find it interesting to see how close the AMX-30 that we have gotten is to what I predicted, or what other people predicted. The tank is reasonably mobile, but as I said, I can't do a review on it yet because two reasons really. Frankly, I'm not too comfortable with it yet, and although I don't think it's going to improve much with upgrades, I mean it will improve with upgrades, that's the whole point of upgrades, but it's not going to get much faster than it already is. It's more or less the acceleration that's going to change, which is really what I'm hoping for. I haven't tried the HE shell. There's no reason why I should. I've only really been carrying 25 rounds of heat, and that's it. The 20mm autocannon is actually quite fun. This is the first tank I've had with the 20mm autocannon on it. I haven't got the KPZ yet, or the MBT. They just don't really interest me that much, to be honest. I will get them eventually, but I'm not going to rush out and grind like mad like I did with this thing, because me and the AMX-30 have a bit of a special relationship. Mercenaries 2. If any of you have played that game, you'll recognise this tank immediately. Yeah, the 20mm autocannon can penetrate an Object 120 from the front, right? And I penetrated a mouse with the 20mm autocannon and killed his loader. Don't ask me how. But to give you an idea how good this heat round actually is, you can penetrate the frontal plate, well, frontal turret of a mouse with it. So, and you get it standard. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. There will be more AMX-30 content coming to the channel, so please keep an eye out for that. If you want to see more, please like, share and subscribe. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next War Thunder video. Cheers.